It's August the 9th. Let's read the Bible. Friends, welcome back to this year-long journey from Genesis to Revelation in just 1 year. Happy August, happy summer, coming to the end of vacation season, school starting, life is about to rev back up, and here we are in the 8th month of the year, deep inside this amazing book of Job. So we've got today chapter 19, chapter 20, chapter 21, chapter 22, and chapter 23. 5 chapters in a row to get through. So without any further ado, let's just hop right in. We're going to wrap up the second set of speeches between Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar. Remember, Eliphaz speaks, then Job answers. Bildad speaks, and Job answers, and Zophar speaks, and Job answers. And we've done that once, and now we're going to wrap up the second time. And by the end of today's reading, we'll start the third and final round of debate speeches between these 3 miserable comforters and Job. And just remember, the question is, why did this happen? Why did this happen to Job? Job doesn't know the answer. The 3 friends think they know the answer, but they're wrong. Nobody really knows the answer. God has yet to be heard from in dealing with this question. He's going to speak later in the book, but we're wrestling with that question. Why did this happen to such a good man as Job? So, Eliphaz has spoken and Job has answered. Bildad has spoken. Now here comes Job's answer. Chapter 19, highest point of Job's faith. Then Job answered, "How long will you torment me and crush me with words? You have humiliated me 10 times now, and you mistreat me without shame. Even if it is true that I have sinned, my mistake concerns only me. If you really want to appear superior to me and would use my disgrace as evidence against me, then understand that it is God who has wronged me and caught me in his net. I cry out violence, but get no response. I call for help, but there is no justice. He has blocked my way so that I cannot pass through. He has veiled my paths with darkness. He has stripped me of my honor and removed the crown from my head. He tears me down on every side so that I am ruined. He uproots my hope like a tree. His anger burns against me. He regards me as one of his enemies. His troops advance together. They construct a ramp against me and camp around my tent. He has removed my brothers from me. My acquaintances have abandoned me. My relatives stopped coming by, and my close friends have long forgotten me. My house guests and female servants regard me as a stranger. I am a foreigner in their sight. I call for my servant, but he does not answer. Even if I beg him with my own mouth, my breath is offensive to my wife, and my own family finds me repulsive. Even young boys scorn me. When I stand up, they mock me. All my best friends despise me, and those I love have turned against me. My skin and my flesh cling to my bones. I have escaped with only the skin of my teeth. Have mercy on me, my friends, have mercy, for God's hand has struck me. Why do you persecute me as God does? Will you never get enough of my flesh? I wish that my words were written down, that they were recorded on a scroll, or were inscribed in stone forever by an iron stylus and lead. But I know that my Redeemer lives, and at the end he will stand on the dust. Even after my skin has been destroyed, yet I will see God in my flesh. I will see him myself. My eyes will look at him, and not as a stranger. My heart longs within me. If you say, how will we pursue him, since the root of the problem lies with him? Then be afraid of the sword, because wrath brings punishment by the sword, so that you may know there is a judgment. 2 things Job knows. He knows it is God who has done this. At least he lays the problem in the right place. He knows God's the one who's done this. And number 2, he knows that death is not going to be the end. I know that my Redeemer lives. That's a great Old Testament prediction. Then, did Job know literally about the coming of Christ? No, but that's what he's looking to. That my Redeemer lives, and at the end of the age, he will stand on the earth. And with my eyes, I will see the Lord. Now, Zophar, here comes the third answer, chapter 20. Then Zophar the Naamathite replied, This is why my unsettling thoughts compel me to answer, because I am upset. I have heard a rebuke that insults me, and my understanding makes me reply, don't you know that ever since antiquity, from the time a human was placed on earth, the joy of the wicked has been brief, and the happiness of the godless has lasted only a moment. Though his arrogance reaches heaven and his head touches the clouds, he will vanish forever like his own dung. Those who know him will ask, where is he? He will fly away like a dream and never be found. He will be chased away like a vision in the night. The eye that saw him will see him no more, and his household will no longer see him. His children will beg from the poor, for his own hands must give back his wealth. His frame may be full of youthful vigor, but it will lie down with him in dust. Though evil tastes sweet in his mouth, and he conceals it under his tongue, though he cherishes it and will not let it go, but keeps it in his mouth, yet the food in his stomach turns into cobra's venom inside him. He swallows wealth, but must vomit it up. God will force it from his stomach. He will suck the poison of cobras. A viper's fangs will kill him. He will not enjoy the streams, the rivers flowing with honey and curds. He must return the fruit of his labor without consuming it. He doesn't enjoy the profits from his trading, for he oppressed and abandoned the poor. He seized a house he did not build, because his appetite is never satisfied. He does not let anything he desires escape. Nothing is left for him to consume. Therefore, his prosperity will not last. At the height of his success, distress will come to him. The full weight of misery will crush him. When he fills his stomach, God will send his burning anger against him, raining it down on him while he is eating. If he flees from an iron weapon, an arrow from a bronze bow will pierce him. He pulls it out of his back, the flashing tip out of his liver. Terrors come over him. Total darkness is reserved for his treasures. A fire unfanned by human hands will consume him. It feeds on what is left in his tent. The heavens will expose his iniquity, and the earth will rise up against him. The possessions in his house will be removed, flowing away on the day of God's anger. This is the wicked person's lot from God, the inheritance God ordained for him. Again, the only thing left out is for Zophar to say, Job, I'm talking about you. But Job knew. Look at Job's answer, chapter 21. Then Job answered, pay close attention to my words. Let this be the consolation you offer. Bear with me while I speak. Then after I have spoken, you may continue mocking. As for me, is my complaint against a human being? Then why shouldn't I be impatient? Look at me and shudder. Put your hand over your mouth. When I think about it, I am terrified, and my body trembles in horror. Why do the wicked continue to live, growing old and becoming powerful? Their children are established while they are still alive, and their descendants before their eyes. Their homes are secure and free from fear. No rod from God strikes them. This, by the way, sounds a lot like Psalm 73. Their bulls breed without fail. Their cows calve and do not miscarry. They let their little ones run around like lambs. Their children skip about, singing to the tambourine and lyre, and rejoicing at the sound of the flute. They spend their days in prosperity and go down to Sheol in peace. Yet they say to God, leave us alone. We don't want to know your ways. Who is the Almighty that we should serve him? And what will we gain by pleading with him? But their prosperity is not of their own doing. The counsel of the wicked is far from me. How often is the lamp of the wicked put out? Does disaster come on them? Does he apportion destruction in his anger? Are they like straw before the wind, like chaff a storm sweeps away? God reserves the person's punishment for his children. Let God repay the person himself so that he may know it. Let his own eyes see his demise. Let him drink from the Almighty's wrath. For what does he care about his family once he is dead, when the number of his months has run out? Can anyone teach God knowledge, since he judges the exalted ones? One person dies in excellent health, completely secure and at ease. His body is well fed and his bones are full of marrow. Yet another person dies with a bitter soul, never having tasted prosperity. But they both lie in the dust, and worms cover them. I know your thoughts very well, the schemes by which you would wrong me. For you say, where now is the noble man's house, and where are the tents the wicked live in? Have you never consulted those who travel the roads? Don't you accept their reports? Indeed, the evil person is spared from the day of disaster, rescued from the day of wrath. Who would denounce his behavior to his face? Who would repay him for what he has done? He is carried to the grave, and someone keeps watch over his tomb. The dirt on his grave is sweet to him. Everyone follows behind him, and those who go before him are without number. So how can you offer me such futile comfort? Your answers are deceptive. chapter 22. We're going to begin now the third round of speeches. So far, has argued that the wicked are judged by God. They lose everything and they're swept away. And Job has said, well, no, wait a minute. There's a lot of wicked people who get away with murder, and their kids are blessed and grandkids are blessed. Nobody bothers them, and they're heroes. And how can you say God punishes the evil when, in this life at least, evil get away with murder? Now, third round, Eliphaz is going to speak. Then Eliphaz the Temanite replied, can a man be of any use to God? Can even a wise man be of use to him? Does it delight the Almighty if you are righteous? Does he profit if you perfect your behavior? Does he correct you and take you to court because of your piety? Isn't your wickedness abundant? And aren't your iniquities endless? For you took collateral from your brothers without cause, stripping off their clothes and leaving them naked. You gave no water to the thirsty and withheld food from the famished, while the land belonged to a powerful man and an influential man lived on it. You sent widows away empty-handed, and the strength of the fatherless was crushed. Therefore snares surround you, and sudden dread terrifies you, or darkness so that you cannot see, and a flood of water covers you. Isn't God as high as the heavens? And look at the highest stars, how lofty they are. Yet you say, what does God know? Can he judge through total darkness? Clouds veil him so that he cannot see as he walks on the circle of the sky. Will you continue on the ancient path that wicked men have walked? They were snatched away before their time, and their foundations were washed away by a river. They were the ones who said to God, leave us alone, and what can the Almighty do to us? But it was he who filled their houses with good things. The counsel of the wicked is far from me. The righteous see this and rejoice. The innocent mock them, saying, surely our opponents are destroyed, and fire has consumed what they left behind. Come to terms with God and be at peace. In this way, good will come to you. Receive instruction from his mouth and place his sayings in your heart. If you return to the Almighty, you will be renewed. Really, in verse 23, that's their whole argument. You deserve what's happened to you. You must be far from God. Get right with God, and everything will turn around. If you banish injustice from your tent and consign your gold to the dust, the gold of Ophir to the stones in the wadis, the Almighty will be your gold and your finest silver. Then you will delight in the Almighty and lift up your face to God. You will pray to him, and he will hear you, and you will fulfill your vows. When you make a decision, it will be carried out, and light will shine on your ways. When others are humiliated and you say, lift them up, God will save the humble. He will even rescue the guilty one, who will be rescued by the purity of your hands. In this third round, Eliphaz taking off the gloves now. He just flat out saying, you're the one who took advantage of the widows. You took advantage of the orphans. You took advantage of the poor. Although we are told in the first part of the book, Job was a righteous and upstanding and godly man. Eliphaz doesn't care anymore. He's just saying, not only are you a sinner, but without any proof, he's accusing him of all this. So, chapter 23, Job's reply to Eliphaz. Then Job answered, today also my complaint is bitter. His hand is heavy despite my groaning. If only I knew how to find him so that I could go to his throne, I would plead my case before him and fill my mouth with arguments. I would learn how he would answer me and understand what he would say to me. Would he prosecute me forcefully? No, he would certainly pay attention to me. Then an upright man could reason with him, and I would escape from my judge forever. If I go east, he's not there. If I go west, I cannot perceive him. When he's at work in the north, I cannot see him. When he turns south, I can't find him. Yet he knows the way I have taken. When he has tested me, I will emerge as pure gold. Hold on to that. We'll come back to it in a moment. My feet have followed in his tracks. I have kept to his way and have not turned aside. I have not departed from the commands from his lips. I have treasured the words from his mouth more than my daily food. But he is unchangeable. Who can oppose him? He does what he desires. He will certainly accomplish what he has decreed for me. And he has many more things like these in mind. Therefore, I am terrified in his presence. When I consider this, I am afraid of him. God has made my heart faint. The Almighty has terrified me. Yet I am not destroyed by the darkness, by the thick darkness that covers. The text doesn't say his face. By the thick darkness that covers my face. The theme verse of this whole book, I believe, is right here in Job 23. He's afraid of God. He was upset earlier and angry now. Is just fearful of what God is doing because so much has happened. But down deep, he will not be shaken. He says, he, speaking of God, will certainly accomplish what he has decreed for me. In the first part of chapter 23, he said, Lord, come on down here. Ever felt like that? Lord, come on down here. I got a few things I'd like to say to you. I got a few questions I'd like to ask. We've all felt that way. And he says, I look north, south, east, west. I can't find him anywhere. Yet verse 10, to me, theme verse of the whole book. He knows the way that I take. When he's tried me, when he's tested me, I will emerge as pure gold. Everybody listening to my voice is in one of three places regarding the trials of life. You're either in a trial right now, or you're coming out of a trial right now, or you're about to go back into one and you just don't know it yet. All of us are going to do furnace time sooner or later. And I love what Warren Wiersbe said, that when we're in the furnace and the heat is turned up, God has his hand on the thermostat. He does. He has his hand on it. He's watching the timer. He won't let the temperature go 1 degree hotter than necessary. And he won't let us stay in the furnace 1 second longer than we need. He knows the temperature. He knows the time. When his purposes have been accomplished, we will come forth. And out of that painful thing, we'll come forth as pure gold. So, my friends, rest in these two words. He knows. He knows. He knows. When I was younger, I used to love that verse for the pure gold. It's cool, I always thought. Going to come forth as gold. But now that I'm 70 and chugging on down the home stretch of life, what encourages me most is that our God knows. He knows who I am and where I am and why I'm here, what he wants to accomplish in my life. He knows where you are today. He knows. He knows. When you don't know, he knows. He knows. I can't think of a more encouraging word. I can't think of a better reason than to stay faithful in that. Our God knows. Trust him. He knows what he's doing. And when he has tested us, we will emerge as pure gold. Go out, friends. This is a good gold-making day for you and me. Let's go out and serve the Lord and let God do whatever it takes that we might emerge as pure gold. Come back tomorrow. Have a great day. Come back tomorrow. We're coming to the end of round 3. You don't want to miss it. See you then. God bless.